Alright guys, Crewman here with a quick off-the-cuff video. This is unplanned, so bear with me on this, but with the update of the Ice River KASPA ASIC miners, the prices look semi-tempting, but I want to try to caution you guys against buying these right now, and let me explain why. So look at the KS0, for example. It gets 200 gigahash at $429, which seems pretty nice until you look at a few things. First, let's look at the KASPA network hash rate, right? If we look at the last 3 months, when I bought my first KS0 at the end of July, beginning of August, we were at 2.6 petahash. We are now at 51 petahash almost 3 months later in October. Guys, basically right now, a KS0, my overclocked KS0, right? Let's do that one for example. I'm basically making $2 a day on them, which is fine. You know, I'm not complaining. I think I will ROII on my ice rivers, but I bought mine months ago. If you were to buy them now, right, 200, you will be making $2.75 a day currently. But one thing you need to consider, right, is the ROI date combined with the emission schedule. Now let's look at the ROI date. So say nothing changed, you're making $2.75 a day, right? So let's say they cost $429. I'm assuming shipping would be about $80. So let's just say $500 divided by 2.75. That's 181 days to ROI. So, you know, basically about half a year. But let's look at the emissions schedule. So if you look at where we're at right now on the emissions schedule, it is currently let's just use November 2023 because this is 5 days away. Right now, you're getting about 155 KASPA per second. Let's go to 181 days. That's 6 months from now. So we're looking at, let's just say, July-ish 2024. So we go from 155 KASPA per second to 103 KASPA per second, which means your rewards will be cut, and that's assuming that the network hash rate does not go up, which, you know, if let's look at the last month, for example. In the beginning of October, we were at 24 petahash, and now we're at 51 petahash. The price the hash rate has basically doubled. So if we double again, you'll be making about $1.75 a day. And if we look at the last 6 months, right, the last 6 months, basically we went from 1 petahash to 50 petahash. Now, are we going to double again? I think that's a stretch, but like, what if we go up to 75 petahash? So you're currently making $2.75 a day. Then you can cut that basically in half. So we'll do 1 gigahash. So you'll be making $1.38 a day. And then we can cut that in a third in 6 months. So let's just cut the gigahash in a third. So let's just say you'll get 60 gigahash. You'll be making 83 cents a day. So you're not going to ROI on these things within 181 days. I would say you would be lucky if you could ROI on them in a year. You know, in a year, the KASPA emission schedule is going to go down to 73. So it's basically going to cut almost in half. With the emission schedule combined with the hash rate increase, guys, I think you're playing with fire, especially if you're trying to buy these cheaper ones. Like if you look at a KS0, right? I'm sorry, a KS1. You're at about $1,900. So right now it makes, you'd be making about $13 a day. So you divide that by 13 and you're getting 146 days. So you're again, 146 days is not quite as bad. You know, that is, let's just do 140. That's about 4 months. So where would our emissions schedule be in 4 months? From 155 to 116. It's a little less bad than the KS0. Basically, it's a race against time. So like, you would probably want to get the $13,000 one if you were going to get any of them, which even then it's 14,000. So if we're doing 14,000, right? Let's see how much that makes a day. 8 terahash. You're making $110 a day. Divided by 110, you're at 127 days ROII. So again, it's faster, but it's still a race against time, against the network hash rate, where, 127 days divided by 30, you're at about 4 months. So like, let's just look at the 3 month. Again, like I said before, we went from 2 petahash to 53. So if it doubles again, everything goes in half. Your profit goes in half, and the emission schedule is going to be what kills everybody, guys. Like, look at next year's emission schedule. When we get to December 6, 2024, we are going to be at half again. And then, so let's just say maybe you get lucky and you ROII within a year, right? So that's when you need to start taking profits. Then let's look at 2025, the emission schedule. It goes down to 36 KASPA. So guys, even if you were to ROI on these things fast, at best case scenario, you maybe have 6 to 8 months to try to eke out a little bit of money. And, these things are just, and that's assuming that Bitmain and Ice River and everybody else do not make more of these. Again, I don't think I would buy these right now. I think the time has passed on these. If you really, really believe in the price of KASPA, you're better off just buying the coin, at probably the next dip, because there will be another dip. The only way I could maybe see you wanting to buy these is if you got a write-off, but you'd have to get a pretty big write-off. You'd have to get like a 30% write-off to even try to justify mining on these things. So you'd be looking at like, $4,000 of tax write-offs. And even then, I still don't think you're going to ROII. If you just need the write-off and you don't care, maybe you do it, but that would be the best case scenario. So guys, I would not recommend buying any of these. Like I said, I thought long and hard about buying some KS zeros, as I was able to get them for about 300. I still don't even think it's worth it. I think you just sit tight. If you miss the boat on these things, you miss the boat. That's okay. Like I said, buy the coin if you really believe in it. And it's okay to miss some things sometimes, guys. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe for more crypto mining content. Krootman out.